In this video, I will show you how to create an almost unimaginable amount of graphics using a text-to-image tool called Midjourney. If you're into scrapbooking and junk journaling, or maybe selling digital downloads on Etsy or Creative Fabrica, or maybe you create for print on demand like Redbubble or KDP, it is now easier than ever to create your own graphics. Journal pages, like the ones you see on the screen, are generated using a simple text prompt. We can easily add various styles to our creations using artists. There are thousands of public domain artists and hundreds of different styles. Moreover, there are styles that were developed in the past 2 years since AI generators took the world by storm. Over time, I will publish the resources I've gathered since I've started using this AI image generator. Midjourney is a paid tool, which currently offers a trial of 25 images, recently reintroduced. So you can go to the Midjourney site, midjourney.com, and create an account. As with all trials and free accounts, there are limitations. You can create approximately 25 images, and those images will be visible to any other Midjourney user. I am on the Pro plan, which allows for 30 hours of fast generations and unlimited relax generations. It also includes private image generation and other cool features. Midjourney is accessible via its site, and all your creations are stored there. You can also view what others have created, and this is a great way to learn how to craft prompts properly, use various parameters, and try different approaches. The most important thing is to start experimenting with this tool. First of all, let's change the tab so that we can see everything in one place. Let's move out from Explore, one tab below, to Create, and here on the screen we can see all of our creations and also all of our upscales. My prompt is super simple, 2 words, young woman. I'm gonna hit enter. By default, Midjourney creates 4 images, and if you do not specify the size, it will create square images. And that's how easy it is to create. The images are beautiful, and for some reason they all have vintage style. Now let's use the same prompt and add something to it. Young woman wearing a red hat. And I'm gonna hit enter. As previously, we got another set of 4 square images. As you can see, whatever we add to the prompt, Midjourney will mostly generate it. Some things may not be perfect, but in general it does the job well. We can specify age, hair color, and emotions in our text prompt, among many other things. To the left, there's some information about our creation. Although it isn't much at the moment, we can see the text prompt and all parameters used, including version. And the current version of Midjourney is 6.1, and that's the default version at the time of recording this video. I've added a link to the Midjourney docs that showcases the various versions. You can find it in the description below. To change the Midjourney version while using the web interface, go to the prompt box. On the right, you'll see an icon that allows you to add and change various parameters. Let's click on it and we've got a drop down here. I want to show you previous versions. To do this, click on the drop down list, and here we can explore all of the available versions that we can use. So on top of the regular versions, there are also Niji versions 4, 5 and 6, which generate images with anime aesthetics. Let's see how our prompt looks using Midjourney versions 1 through to 6.1 and Niji 4, 5 and 6. And here I'm just gonna speed up the video while I'm doing this so that you don't have to watch everything. Right, version 1. So let's see how our prompts looks using Midjourney versions 1 through to 6.1 and Niji 4, 5 and 6. You'll see the whole journey since they started back in February 2022, and the improvement speaks for itself. We've got version 1 that was very early, it was February 2022. Then I believe in May they changed that. That was the version when I actually joined the Midjourney, and I've started using it in beginning of May 2022. Then somewhere in August, I believe, they've added this version. or maybe it was July, version 3. The biggest shift occurred between versions 3 and 4, as you can see. Version 4 to compare with version 3 is miles away. But then with versions 5, more improvements were made. And now with version 6.1, we're here. It blows my mind to think of what's next. As you can see, here is the Niji. Niji 4, Niji 5, and Niji 6. So far, we've only slightly expanded our text prompt and we've seen the versions. Let's check out artist styles. You can plug in any artist directly into the text prompt. There is no guarantee that all artists will work, but most public domain artists do. For the purpose of this video, I'll only be using artists that their works are in the public domain. In future videos, I'll show you where to find more information about artists. For now, let's check out 3 of them. Type in young woman in the style of Vincent van Gogh. Midjourney is not case sensitive, so it will recognize the name in lowercase. And this is typical style for Van Gogh. It has the characteristics of his brushwork, and it probably draws inspirations from 2 or 3 of his famous paintings. Let's check Pablo Picasso. Young woman in the style of Pablo Picasso. As with Van Gogh, it shows Picasso characteristics and his Cubism style. You can experiment by adding just Cubism to the prompt to see how it changes. Let's check one more artist. Young woman in the style of Claude Monet. Now we see the resemblance between Claude Monet paintings and that's what we got from Midjourney here. And again, there are 2 or 3 most famous paintings that we can actually see the resemblance here. The beauty of AI image generators like Midjourney is that you can mix and match styles and artists. The best results often come from combining 2 or more styles, especially those you wouldn't normally see together, or even styles you don't personally like. It might give you an effect that will definitely surprise you. So let's just run our young woman, Cubism, just for the sake of this example. And we can see significant differences between Picasso style on its own and Cubism as a style. So let's see how combining both in the same prompt looks. Young woman in the style of Pablo Picasso, Cubism. So it creates a hybrid, something from both styles, something from Pablo Picasso and Cubism on its own, even though he is most famous Cubist. The image colors are more vibrant, showing that the artist's influence is strong, and the images have an older feel. You can clearly see the influence of both. You can add artists that are in the public domain and mix them with newer aesthetics, like, for example, let's just copy part of this prompt. Young woman in the style of Pablo Picasso, neon. And now we've got another hybrid image, and you can go and create pretty much whatever you want. You can mix 2 or more styles, combining old and new artists. Based on my experience, the sweet spot is using 3 artists. Adding more than that tends to have little influence. Often, no matter how many artists you mix, one will have the strongest influence on the output image. We can expand the prompt by adding pose, lighting, or even changing the artist to a photographer, writer, or author in some cases. I'll show you how to do that in the future videos. It's very easy to create hundreds or even thousands of similar images. Let's focus on one more option from parameters window, and this is aspect ratio or image size. So we can type in the size directly into the prompt, or add it using the image size feature, which is the best option for learning because it shows you various sizes and how they will look after generation. By default, the image size is square or 1 by 1. And we can click on portrait to get the default value, which is 3 by 4. To check other sizes in the portrait orientation available, let's just slide it towards the left. We've got 2x3, 9x16, which is the perfect for YouTube Shorts. And by the way, on my channel, I'll be publishing a lot of shorts with styles for Midjourney and also with artists, so stay tuned for that. And we've got 1x2. Bear in mind that you can specify your own size as well, which I will show you in a few moments. And the same principle applies to the landscape. Let's move to the right, and we get various sizes: 6x5, 4x3, 3x2, 16x9, and 2x1. Anything different must be typed into the prompt box. Let's check our prompt in maybe 2 portrait sizes and 2 landscape sizes. Young woman in 3x4, young woman in 9x16. Let's move to the landscape. Young woman 4x3, 16x9, and let's go with 2x1 also. We've got already 3x4 and 9x16. So with the portrait, basically, the longer the image, the more body is added, or you get a close-up of the character. But occasionally, you'll notice that Midjourney creates elongated necks or heads, which doesn't really look natural. And there is a way around it. You need to specify it in the prompt, or just rerun and rerun and rerun until you get what you want. And let's check the landscape sizes. That one, it looks very tiny. We've got 16x9 and 2x1. Obviously, the landscape size is more suited for landscapes, but if you are planning to create graphics for banners or even mockups for Etsy, these sizes allow you to create as a character and leave a space next to it where you can easily add text in Photoshop, Canva, or any other graphic editing tool. Let's create a size outside the list of sizes available here. If you're creating ephemera products, you'll definitely like this. The closest size to 8.5 by 11 inches, which is the standard junk journal page size sold on Etsy, is 16 by 22. It's basically double size, so you might still need to stretch it slightly in Photoshop, but it's the best aspect ratio to use in your prompt. So how do you add a parameter to a text prompt in Midjourney? Well, it's super simple. Just type it in. I'll go with the same prompt as before, followed by a space, and add --AR for aspect ratio 17 by 22. Make sure to always add parameters at the end of the text prompt. And don't add any text after the parameters unless it's another parameter. You can add multiple parameters, but you cannot add text after the parameter. It simply won't work. So now we've generated an image in the size closest to 8.5 by 11 inches, which is the US standard letter size used by both personal and commercial printers. Until now, we focus on generating the images only. Before we download them, we need to upscale them further. And I'll also show you a few other things you can do in the same place. And I kind of like this image, the second one. So I'll click on it. On the left, we have a few options. At the top, we can see our prompt and the parameters used and the version. In this video, we'll focus on 2 options from the screen. The first one is for upscaling. As you can see, the image size isn't yet large enough to be published in print form. We need to upscale it, and Midjourney offers 2 upscaling options: subtle upscale and creative upscale. And we can find those options here in the bottom right corner. So let's try both, and we'll come back to this screen. The first upscale is a subtle upscale, which means that the changes aren't significant. The image is larger, but looks almost the same as the original. There are only slight changes. The creative upscale, however, in addition to making the image larger, also changes the image in ways that aren't always what we want. However, in many cases, images upscaled using creative upscale look better than the originals. I leave it up to you to experiment with these options. The second option here is downloading the image, and we can do this in a few different ways. So how do you easily download an image from Midjourney? If you want to download a single image, which we see on the screen, click on the image you like in my case, it's the subtle upscaled image. At the top left, there's a download button, so click on it, and that's it. The second way to download images is to navigate to a different tab, which we can find on the left. And this time we're going even one down as the tab called Organize. If you click on it, we can see all of the images that we have generated so far. And at the very top, we have today. Or if you scroll down, you'll find the corresponding date when the images were created and upscaled. So if you click on the plus next to today, we've got select all. And right in the middle bottom part of the screen, we have another pop-up and we can click download. The third option is similar to the second, but you can download only the images you want instead of downloading everything. And to do that, press and hold the Shift key and select the images you want. Each time you pick an image, the counter will change, showing you the total number of selected images. And once you're ready, click the download button. And just like before, the images will be downloaded as a zip file. In the next video, we'll explore more options to stylize our images. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.